everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be all about my favorite summer foundations. I got requested to do this video and then I did a poll over on my Instagram stories to see like how much the interest was in this type of video, and there were so many votes that came in for it, so I wanted to get it on my filming schedule. So I'm going to be going through all of my favorite foundations that I like to wear in the summer, so if you want to see what those are, why don't we go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be going over like some regular liquid foundations. I also have a few powder foundations, and then I also do have a tinted moisturizer that I want to mention. So kind of in the summer, my preferences are definitely more of a lighter coverage. I am not a full coverage gal to begin with, but sometimes I like a lot of like medium full, but in the summer, I definitely see myself like a light medium type of coverage. I also prefer more of a dewy or a luminous finish, and I still like that in the summertime, even though I can get a little bit more glowy in the summer. I have normal to dry skin, but in the summer I'm mostly normal, but I can get a little bit dewy at times, but I still prefer a dewy foundation over a matte. It's just my personal preference. Before we hop in my makeup, what do you guys think? Like just give it to me. I was watching Makeup Struggles the other day and she had a reverse smoky eye on and she said it made her feel unapproachable, and I laughed for like 10 minutes after she said that. I thought it was the funniest thing ever, and I was like, I want to try a reverse smoky eye, so I tried it today. I've never tried anything like this, and of course it's blue too. Like, it's not even just like a brown reverse smoky eye. No, it's a full-on smoky eye, and I didn't even mean to. When I was putting my lashes on, I put the first lash on and I was like, did you put that lash on backwards, girl? I did. So the inner corner is on the outside and the ends are on the inside, but I was like, I kind of like it, and I feel like it kind of goes with the reverse smoky eye. You reversed your lashes. Those are my vibes today, so you guys can let me know how you feel about it. Like I said, I've never tried anything like this before, but I just thought it would be something fun to do, so that's what we did today. But jumping into the foundations, so one of my favorites, one that I reach for so often and comes like in my like beach bag with me, my travel bags with me when I'm out and about in the summer, is from Urban Decay. This is the Naked Skin One and Done. It says it's a hybrid complexion perfector. SPF in it has SPF 20, which I think is very important. If you watch my summer essentials video, I mentioned SPF and sunscreen so often because it's super, super important to be protecting your skin. So a lot of times I spend so much time outdoors in the summer. We have a friend with a boat. We're on the water a lot. We like to take Aries to the beach so she can swim a lot. We're on walks, hiking, all of that. So I always want to have SPF on my face. I have it in my skincare routine because I think it's important, but a lot of times my foundations or my powders will also have SPF in there. So this one does have SPF 20, and I'm trying to think, so it doesn't say it on here, but online and how people were kind of reviewing it is that they were saying it's a really light coverage, and a lot of people were saying it's not even really a foundation. It's kind of like a tinted moisturizer mixed with like a BB cream type of thing. I find it to be more foundation-like. It does give a nice light to medium coverage. You can use a beauty blender and kind of shear it out so it's more of a light coverage, but I think it gives more coverage than a tinted moisturizer, and I think it gives more coverage than a BB cream. So to me, it's more foundation based, but it's just supposed to be a really natural coverage for your skin and just kind of blur everything out and just make your skin obviously look a little bit nicer, what we want in our foundations. And I agree with that, but I really do enjoy how lightweight it is on the skin, and I like that really natural look to my skin. But I also like that I can kind of build it up a bit, and you know, especially if I have any areas that I'm trying to cover up, I can still use it for this. So this one has a pump here. I have the shade medium, which I can't find. I know I just took it out of town with me, but I thought I unpacked my bag all the way, but I'm gonna have to go check. But I also have medium light. So those are kind of the two shades that I go back and forth from, but medium is the one that I use mostly in the summertime because I am a little bit tanner, but I do have medium light as well. But I really, really enjoyed this guy. One of my favorite summer foundations. I know this video is all about my favorite summer foundations, but this one's like really, really one of my favorites. This is from L'Oreal. It's the True Match Lumi foundation. It is what I'm wearing today, and I love this foundation. I ran out of it, I think it was like towards the late summer last year or early fall or something like that, and I constantly was saying, I'm gonna repurchase it, I'm gonna repurchase it. I was saying I wanted to get through some of my foundations, which is super, super hard to get through a foundation. It really is. And I never made it through one. which was a bummer, but I still bought it anyways because I was like, this is one of my favorite summer foundations. So I wasn't necessarily upset that I wasn't getting it in the winter, even though I do still like it for the colder months, but especially for the summer, this is one of like my number one or two top worn foundations because I think it is so beautiful. So again, this has SPF 20, not a surprise. This shade that I have is in N4 or Buff Beige, so it's neutral 4, and I just love it. It's from the drugstore. It's nice and affordable. It does have a pump on it as well, which I think is great. But it gives that natural finish to your skin, but luminous at the same time. So it just gives you, and it's not too much though. And I think that's why I like it for summer, because a lot of times if I'm outside by the end of the day, I'm definitely more on the luminous side. So I don't want anything that's like too much, too glowy for me. Like the L'Oreal Pro Glow, that's really, really glowy on me. So that didn't make it into my favorites video because by the end of the day, I'm having to powder quite a bit. This one is like the perfect amount of luminosity to my skin. It has a great medium coverage, I think, and I feel like it's very, very long lasting. This is probably my favorite drugstore foundation, but especially for the summer, I absolutely love this guy. I had to have it in my collection. Okay, so another guy that I really, really enjoy for the summertime is from Anasazi Beverly Hills, and this is the Stick Foundation. I have the shade Natural. Yes, Natural. I have the shade Natural, and this was a foundation that I went back and forth on it for the longest time because at first I was like, I really don't think I like this. It was so light coverage, and I want to say when it came out, or at least when I bought it, which I can't remember if it was right at the release, but I want to say it was more towards the winter colder months where I'm more into like my medium full coverage routine, and this one was just too light coverage for me. I was like, I don't really like it. I'm not a huge fan of stick foundations to begin with, but this is one of the very few stick foundations that I've tried that I do like for the summertime. Again, in the winter, I'm just not a huge fan of it. In the summer, I like how light coverage it is. You do with stick foundations, I think one thing that I don't like is I feel like you have to like use so much and you have to cover your whole face. You know, with a regular foundation, I'm used to just doing a few pumps and like putting a few dots on and then blending it all together. With this, it's like you have to really take your time and cover your whole face. And with this, it's still, you're doing that and you're using so much foundation, it seems like, and you're still getting such a light coverage that I'm like, But again, in the summertime, I lean towards light coverage, especially if I'm gonna be outside for a long time. I don't want anything too heavy or too cakey on my skin, and that is when I reach for this. I also enjoy this for traveling, especially if I'm doing something more vacation-esque, even if it's just, you know, we're going camping. I don't like camping, but somehow we go every single freaking year. But a lot of times I bring this for things like that because I still want to have a little bit of coverage. I still want my skin smoothed out a little bit, but I just don't want anything too heavy on me. And that's when I come in with the Anastasia Stick Foundation. So I reach for this quite a bit in the warmer months. Okay, so another foundation that I love that is super dirty, and I know no one's gonna judge me on that. But this is the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. My shade is in 740, which is natural beige. So it says it's lightweight, full coverage makeup. It also has SPF 20. This is just one of my favorite foundations. This, man, if I had to rank it with that L'Oreal, I think L'Oreal is still going to be number one. I think this is my second favorite drugstore foundation. So it's Covergirl, it's drugstore, it's a nice affordable price. Again, it has a pump on it. Mine is super messy because I use this all the freaking time. I really enjoyed this in the winter as well because it does have more of a, it's a solid medium coverage. I think that you can build it up more towards medium full-ish, but also if you don't use as much and you use a beauty blender, you can kind of get more of like a good, again, I'm gonna say a good solid medium. This one isn't really very light coverage to me, but I really enjoy the coverage on this, and like it says, I do think that it's lightweight on the skin too, but I love the finish it gives because again, it's just really natural, which I like in my summer foundations. I like my skin to look natural. I do freckle sometimes in the summer, and I like my freckles to show through. You know, Snapchat's telling us that freckles are in right now. So I like the natural finish, but I like the coverage that it gives at the same time. So I think this one is really good also. Okay, next up, another favorite that I have is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Light Wonder Youth Boosting Perfect Skin Foundation. Woohoo! So you can find Charlotte Tilbury on the Beautylish website. There is a rumor that she's also coming into Sephora. I don't know if that's true yet, but I sure hope so. Even though I love Beautylish, I recommend Beautylish. If you've never purchased from them, I recommend it. I think they're great. So mine is in shade 5 and it says medium. This one, I don't think this one has SPF, so I think this is the first one that doesn't have SPF. It doesn't say it on here anyways. The reason why I really like this foundation is because I do think it's more of a lighter coverage. This one is kind of like the new Cover FX where you kind of have this squeeze tube here, and does it say how much? You get 1.4 fluid ounces. I remember thinking it was just a little bit more than the standard 1 ounce, but it really is, it's definitely a foundation. I think on the back here it says for a daily luminous tint, but it's more of a light coverage foundation. You can also build it up a little bit, but again, it's a lighter coverage. I can, you know, my skin can still breathe. I'm not caking on any makeup with it. And again, I mean, I'm going to be repeating myself a lot because these are the things that I'm looking for in my summer foundations, but it gives a very natural finish to the skin with just a bit of luminosity, and I think it is so pretty. This one is one of my favorites. This goes with me a lot. I like the packaging as well. It's travel friendly also because it is just plastic packaging and I'm not worrying about it breaking or anything, but this one also a go-to. And the last, you know, kind of regular liquid foundation that is one of my favorites for the summer is from Lancome. This is the Tint Idole foundation. And I mean, if you can see, I have a pretty good dent put in it. It's like right there. Like I have a pretty good dent put into this one and I really enjoy it. This is a foundation that I will wear all year round and I think it's phenomenal. It's one of my top favorite just overall foundations. I think it's fantastic and I recommend it all the time. It is so long wearing. It is so long wearing. It's more of like a medium to full coverage. So I definitely like to apply it with a beauty blender to kind of get, you know, kind of bump down the coverage just a little bit since I prefer more of a medium, but it's definitely more medium to full, I would say, but it's going to last such a long time. So if I'm doing something in the summer where I'm leaving the house early and I know I'm not coming back till later, maybe I won't have any time to do any sort of touch-ups or anything, I will reach for this foundation because it's going to last me all day and it's going to look really good from the time I put it on in the morning, from the time I'm taking it off in the evening. This is just, like I said, it's just one of my favorite foundations. I recommend it wholeheartedly. I really enjoy this guy. But one, this is a pricier foundation. One that I think is really similar, so I wanted to mention it, is from No7. This is the Stay Perfect foundation. Again, this one is more of a good medium coverage. I think you can get a little bit more coverage with the Lancome, but this is still a solid medium coverage. It also has a pump as well. I don't think the No7 is as long lasting as the Lancome. The Lancome, it says this also has SPF 15 in it, the Lancome does. It says up to 24-hour color, wear, and comfort transfer resistant foundation. Like honestly, I believe it. I've never worn it for 24 hours, but I have put this foundation to work time-wise, and I've been very impressed with it. The No7 also has SPF at 15 in here, and the only differences is you get a little bit less coverage and it's not quite as long wearing. But for the finish and how it makes your skin look, I think that these are really similar. So if the Lancome is just a little bit out of your price range but you're looking for a good dupe, I would suggest No7. I did want to recommend two of my favorite powder foundations as well. Sometimes want to have just a super light coverage, but it's just evening out my skin a little bit and maybe recovering anything that needs to be covered. So I have two favorite powder foundations here. This first one is from Pure. This is no surprise if you guys have been watching my channel forever. I have been purchasing this for like 10 years or something. I started buying it back in college. Was that 10 years ago? Ooh. That hurt. I started buying this a long time ago and I've just really never stopped. I've gone through multiple ones of these. So this is the 4-in-1 Pressed Mineral Makeup. Again, it has SPF 15 in it, and I pick up the shade Tan because usually I'm more on the tan side in the summer where I'm reaching for these a lot more. I just really like the finish that it gives me. We were boating all weekend and this is the foundation that came in my bag with me and what I was putting on. Again, I really like that it does have the SPF 15 in it as well, especially if I'm wearing, you know, if what I'm wearing underneath it. What did I wear this weekend? Oh, I wore the strobe cream underneath and then I put this on top of it, and I don't think the strobe cream has SPF. I don't know that for sure because I just have a little mini guy, but I like that this has SPF because even though I have my moisturizer with SPF, I like having even more on. Just, you gotta protect your skin. I hate when I get sunburned. Oh, it makes me so frustrated, so frustrated. Okay, but then the other powder foundation that I want to recommend, this is a drugstore option and I think it's fabulous. This is from Maybelline and it is the Super Stay Better Skin Transforming Powder. And this is, I have the shade 30, which is warm nude. It has salicylic acid in it, but I don't think it has SPF. It does not say it does. Okay then. So this foundation, I also have tried like the regular foundation that came with a pump and I really like that foundation as well. But the whole point of it and kind of the name behind Better Skin is that it does have the salicylic acid in it and it's supposed to help clear up your skin. It's supposed to help give you better skin. I felt like I noticed that with the regular foundation and I really want that one back in my collection as well. I don't notice it as much with this because I don't wear this on a very consistent basis, but come summertime I probably will. This is what I usually travel, what I have in my clutch with me when I go out, because I think that the packaging is really convenient, but also what makes it different from the Pure, they both do have a mirror, but this one also comes with kind of this like sponge applicator, which I don't mind, especially when I'm out and about and if I just need to touch up in a few spots. I love that I don't have to then put an extra brush into my bag, so that's why this one usually goes in my like going out bag with me, like for going out at night. This is the one that usually comes in my clutch with me because of that. I also really like this one. I just like how it looks on my skin. I like that it evens everything out and just gives me, you know, just a bit of a confidence boost, I would say. So I also really enjoy this powder foundation. And then the last one that I want to talk about is a tinted moisturizer. Now I used to wear BB creams like crazy, tinted moisturizers like crazy, you know, several years back, like 5, 7, 8 years ago. That's basically what I wore instead of foundations. Now I'm more used to wearing foundations. I kind of prefer it, just, you know, I am 31. You know, when I was 19, 21, 23, like I didn't have as many kind of like skin issues going on. Like, not, I don't feel like I have a ton at this point, but I feel like now I just prefer foundations. Like I don't have as nice of skin as I did back then, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely wore them a ton, but I don't reach for them as much. But I did get a tinted moisturizer sent to me to try out from No7 and I've really been enjoying it, so I thought I would mention it in here. This is the Airbrush Away. It's called the Tinted Skin Perfector and it says it's a satin finish, sheer coverage, and it's enriched with skincare benefits. I really do like this guy. I have the shade medium. It doesn't appear that this one has SPF in it either. So again, it's not a foundation. It's not a, like, I'm not even gonna say it's a light coverage. It really is more like sheer to light, I would say, because it's not like when I put it on, I don't see anything. Like I can notice a difference when I put it on, but nothing heavy, nothing cakey, nothing too noticeable. It just kind of smooths and blurs your skin out, and it also gives me just like a bit of like a tint as well. That, yeah, a tinted skin perfector. I can notice that it's giving me a bit of a tint as well. I typically like to wear this and then put a powder over it, or like if we're going boating or if I'm going somewhere in the water, like I've just been wearing this. I've done that a couple times too, but so far I'm really liking it. I mean, I've probably tried it like 4 or 5 or 6 times, I would say, and so far I've been really impressed with this. So I did want to go ahead and mention that in here because I think tinted moisturizers can be nice for summer, long hot days, days by the water, things like that. But after that, guys, that is going to do it for my favorite foundations for the summer. Okay, so that is everything for today's video. I of course will have all of the foundations that I mentioned linked down below. Let me know if you love any of these foundations as well for summer or just any other time in general as well. I would love to know if we have any of the same favorites. I really hope that you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful in some way. Thank you so much for requesting it. Let me know if you have any other video requests as well, of course. But other than that, if you did enjoy this one, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.